So I think mindset over the years, it's what's been our biggest downfall, and I'll be completely honest, and it's a cause for inconsistency. It's a cause for failure and all of that, because to be honest, schoolboy football is good, it's necessary, but it doesn't really get you ready for anything.
876 stream.
So, as everybody can see, we have a very, very special guest with us today, and it's none other than captain of the Reggae Boyz himself, Andre Blake. Andre, firstly, all the best to you for the new year. Hope you and the family doing well.
Thank you. Yeah, man, everybody good. So good so far.
All right, sounds good. Firstly, let's start with, 2022 for you. How would you describe the year as a whole for you? Was it a year of progress, a year of success, everything that was going on, especially club-wise with all the accolades that you got?
Yeah, it's been a big year for me. I would say definitely the biggest year of my career, accolades-wise. Was a very decorative year, very thankful for all that I was able to achieve, and it was just when I really reflect, even club-wise, not just personally, the club had a really big year, and something that, again, I'm really grateful for, and then hopefully this year again I can, go a step further.
Philly, is very big on sports teams, their basketball team, their NFL, and all of that. Do you feel like the city as a whole embrace you more based on, everything that is going on? You can walk down the streets and people taking football, soccer more seriously, know who you are and what you do for the city?
Yeah, definitely. Even the club, not just me, but before, in Philadelphia, they talk about the Phillies, the Flyers, and the Eagles. You never really hear anybody talking about the Union. But the club has been doing so well over the years that the Union is right up there now. Every time you mention a sport team from Philly, you have to mention the Union. So it's really good that the club has gained that respect. And as for myself, it's definitely a fulfilling feeling to be walking through the city and being recognized, so yeah, that's big time.
Yeah, most definitely. And as you know, this is your 10th season within the league. Yesterday marked the anniversary, 9-year anniversary being drafted to the league. Does Philly right now feel like home for you after spending so much time there?
Yeah, it definitely does. Philly is all I know in my professional career, and I would say it's definitely not easy to be in one place, and being able to produce, year after year, because after a while, you can get complacent, I would say, so I have to guard myself against all those stuff. But one of my aim is always to get better every year, so I don't really leave any room for complacency. But Philly is all I know. It's a great city, great club. I've grown with the club, and I still think there's a lot more to come from this club. And I like the culture now that we have created at this club, and big ambitions.
Yeah, as you know, I think sometime last week, Philly had did a collab post with you on IG, 10 seasons loading, where you're holding up 10 fingers and everything like that. It was a nice gesture of them to do for you. When you go through the comments, Andre, and you see fans saying, you have mixed views, of course, they're happy for you based on what you're doing. And some say, well, based on your potential, you should be in Europe, would love to see that exposure. How do you feel when you see, different views of fans and where you should be, what you're doing now and all of that?
I mean, it's a good feeling when fans believe that I should be playing in Europe. Definitely that must, that speaks volume that they must have, seen something over the years. It's too bad that people that's supposed to see it haven't seen it yet. Hence why I'm still where I am. But it's definitely a great feeling, to see that they view me like that. It's an honor. But for me, still here, and while I'm still here, I just have to keep making the best of what I have.
Is that still an ambition for you, or you take things one day at a time, one season at a time?
Yeah, I do take things one step at a time, stride by stride. But I'm never gonna let go of that dream until I retire, So I still believe, and hopefully that it will still happen.
Yeah, how much encouragement does it give you when you have persons like a Gigi Buffon or a Van der Sar that played into their 40s? Is that, an ambition of yours? Do you feel at your peak physically right now?
I feel good, as a goalkeeper. The older you get, the better you get, they would say. So I want to play as long as possible. I don't really want to put a number on it, but I want to play for as long as my body feels good and my mind, will allow me. Because once I get to a point where it's not fun anymore, then, it doesn't really make sense putting yourself through that. So I just want to keep having fun, enjoying it, and listen to my body, keep taking care of my body, and I'm gonna try to push for as long as it allows me to.
The season that you had last season, getting all the accolades, goalkeeper of the year, was there something that different that you did last year? Your training routine, your nutrition that allowed you to go up a level in terms of your performances?
Every year I try to nitpick, in a sense. I would sit down with my goalkeeper coach and we'll do evals, what was good, what could have been better. So last year wasn't any different, and I sat down and did what I needed to do, and then took a break, went into the off season, and then coming back, we normally have a meeting before we start preseason again, where the mindset coming in, I get the full off season to really reflect and to see where I'm at, and where I want to be next, So coming into the season, I just tell myself that, all right, listen, you must continue to work hard. What you have done already is in the past, and my aim is to try to get better every year. So with that, I come in and I push myself very hard, and it just happened that last year everything kind of just fall into place nicely, and all the hard work ended up paying off.
Are you a person that looks at your stats, looks at your footage, what the pundits or analysts are saying about you, or you just follow the advice on the coaching staff and game after game you try to work harder?
There's noise and there's distraction. I really don't feed into what people have to say, and because if I don't allow them to make me, then they can't break me. And if you find yourself getting too caught in the outside situations, you can find yourself in trouble, because believe it or not, when you have a not so good game, you're gonna hear it. And when you do have good games, they're gonna have all the nice things to say, and you're gonna listen to it, and you're gonna feel so good about yourself. But when you have a bad game, if you get so much into it, it can affect you. So I do hear, but I kind of just keep it moving, and that's my way of staying focused and staying grounded and being consistent, because especially as goalkeepers, the mental aspect of it is so important, that if your headspace is not right, you won't be able to perform well.
Yeah, a few minutes earlier you highlighted the praise in terms of your squad in particular. You also have CONCACAF Champions League this year as well. I just wanted to give me your thoughts about how far the team could go this year, especially after the disappointment of last year.
Yeah, coming up with the Champions League, this is going to be our second appearance in the Champions League, and we did well in 21. Got to the semis. This club again have big goals, big aims, and aspirations. It is definitely a competition that we think we can do well in. We're gonna put our best foot forward, and when you look at the teams that are in it, and then the teams from the MLS, we do have a chance. But then it's not just on paper. You have to really go out there and really express it on the pitch. So we have a chance, and we're gonna go for it.
Yeah, and I mean, you being in the league so long, you know what the MLS is like with, filling up roster slots and trades all around. But I'm sure it was disappointed that, Corey is no longer there at the Union and he's just at another state close by. Could have assisted, the attacking line this season.
Yeah, we're gonna miss him for sure. He's a great person, a great player. You know what he brings to the team, and even though I wanted to start, coming off the bench he was amazing for us. He was probably the best sub. Last year in the entire league. He contributed so much for us, coming from the bench, bringing that energy and being that goal scoring threat. So we're definitely gonna miss him, but some things are beyond our control, and this is life, and wish him all the best, except for when he's playing against us.
Definitely, I understand what you mean. And how proud are you in terms of, Jamaican goalkeepers getting opportunities? Amal is going to the USL, Jamali Wade's going to the USL as well. Opportunities are open up. More so outfield players got a lot of opportunities, but now slowly but surely these things are happening for goalkeepers as well. Jaden White had a few trials last year. Just talking about goalkeepers and Jamaican goalkeepers on the island by extension.
It's necessary. It is necessary. We need to have players, on a regular basis, going out and playing overseas. If you look at the teams in CONCACAF that we're really playing against, the US 18, 19, those guys are signing in Europe. Mexico, these clubs that we're really going up against, they have young guys who are actually not playing USL or whatever, they're actually playing in Europe. So, if we want to really be able to keep up, we have to find ways to identify talents and immediately get them, to places where they can really develop and get better. And, I think that's a big part of us really getting to where we want to be as a nation. We have to find these plugs to get the players out of high school. Once you're good enough, we need to make that step, and also to make the league better, because if you're playing at Europe level, there's levels to this game, and college football don't prepare you for MLS, or MLS don't prepare you for example Europe, or Europe don't. So there are levels that if you're not playing at these levels, week in, week out, when you play players that are playing at these levels, it might show. So it's very important, and we have to start somewhere, so for me, I'm very happy to see more players, not just outfield players, but goalkeepers getting opportunity to really go overseas and, to go get better. And for me, the most important thing is, my advice would be, when you get that chance, don't look back. Don't feel like you get a USL contract and you reach. That's the first problem there. After 1 year or 2 years, you find yourself back in Jamaica playing. So it's important to find ways to continue to get better and to put yourself in an environment that you can challenge yourself to be a better person and a better player.
Yeah, fully understand where you're coming from there. When you were growing up and coming through the ranks at Clarendon, was there a goalkeeper that you looked up to, a national goalkeeper or overseas that gave you that inspiration or motivation?
When I was younger, growing up, Edwin van der Sar was always my goalkeeper, and I just liked him for whatever reason. I remember back in the days being just a kid watching Premier League with my brother. He was a Leeds fan at the time. Back then when Leeds was Leeds, But yeah, Edwin van der Sar was really the guy.